Hi everyone, it's Claire here, and today we are talking, Ellen, say hi. We're talking about wet bags, clearly something Ellen feels extremely passionate about, and now the camera doesn't want to sit how it should. Thank you for that, Ellen. So, wet bags. Often when people first come to cloth, they are on a budget. You may be upcycling, or you may be looking at destashed pads and thinking, right, what is the bare minimum I need to get started? And some of the things or equipment that people will list will be, well, you're going to need a large wet bag and you're going to need a wet bag for your handbag. Now, this is true, but there's many ways to get yourself a wet bag and to make a wet bag that works for you. So looking at on buying, this is a large type of wet bag. Mine has a 2-zipper. So in the front compartment, you can keep clean, dry pads, and in the back compartment, you can keep your dirty pads. Now, if you are doing the dry store method, you will take off your pad, close it, popper it, or just fold it in half and chuck it in your wet bag. If you are doing the take off and rinse, then you will fold it and pop it in your wet bag. Pretty much the only method that you do not need some kind of holder for your pads is if you are going to be wet storing throughout your cycle. And I'm going to do some videos on different ways of cleaning your pads later on. However, you can also, if you really cannot afford a wet bag, you can also use a bucket. Now, if you get a bucket with a lid, just as I will cover here with the wet bag, do not seal your pads into the container. If you are dry storing or rinse storing, it does not matter. Leave this zip, you can pull it too, but leave this zip ajar so that air can circulate in here. Otherwise, when you open your bag after 2 to 3 days or the end of your cycle, depending on your wash routine, you will have a damp, dank, nasty, just bad smell. And then you have to work to get that smell out of your pads. So to avoid that, very simple, just leave a little gap. If you are storing in a bucket or bin with a lid, then leave your bucket or bin lid ajar, and that solves that problem for you. Now, wet bags are very handy because they do come with hangers. So I hang mine on the back of the bathroom door, and then I can literally take off and pop in, and I can have some clean pads ready and waiting in here. But as I have, yes, Ellen, you like the wet bag too? Very good. But like I say, you can use a bucket, you can use a miniature bin. It's completely up to you. Repurpose something that's in the house. There are people that use lock and lock type containers but leave the lid ajar. You do not have to spend money if you don't have it. So don't feel pressured into getting a wet bag when you're first starting out if you can't afford one. Another option is to buy some PUL and make your own, as there are quite a few patterns and video tutorials out there. Then we talk about out and about with cloth pads. Now again, people will say, right, you need a wet bag. Thank you, Ellen, please do not play with it. So here's an example here of a type of pouch zip wet bag. They are always, as mentioned, PUL lined. Some are completely PUL like this one. One thing to quickly mention about the PUL wet bags that is an advantage is after your cycle ends, you can pop them in the washing machine up to 60 degrees and turn them inside out when you do it, and then they will be perfectly clean and ready to go again. My large wet bag actually accidentally made its way into the dryer this month, but came out perfectly fine. So it's pretty hardy stuff, this PUL. Now, so you would fold, popper, or fold in half, pop in here, and then pop in your handbag. However, if you do not have one of these wet bags and you don't want to pay out for one, you can repurpose a makeup or cosmetic bag you already have at home. Often they come free if you buy gift sets and stuff, and you may have been bought Christmas presents or something. Ellen, No, don't play with that, please. Gift sets with cosmetics, as you can see, this L'Occitane one, and they are generally wipe clean inside. So on the off chance you did get something, but if you're folding and popping, that's not likely to happen, you can just wipe clean. These are also very inexpensive to purchase. If you go to your pound or dollar store, you'll be able to pick up a version of a makeup cosmetic bag in there, and it does just as great for the purpose as an official PUL wet bag. For your dry storage of your clean pads that you take out in your handbag, some people don't mind the two mixing, so they will just put a few clean in there, and then as they're taking them out, pop the dirty in. If you are going for the PUL ones, you can get one with a separate compartment for your dry store pads. Or like me, I have this little pouch my husband purchased for me from an Etsy seller called, I'll show you her name, L Little. It is not PUL or wipeable. So these I just put my clean pads in, then I can zip them up and pop them in my handbag. And it's also very unassuming if you're at work and you want to take something to the toilet. It just looks like a bit of a bag you could have your lip gloss or whatever in. So that's how I store my dry items. If you have an extra zip pocket in your handbag, you can pop them in there. So there's really a lot of options. Some, again, repurposing from around the house if you're on a budget. If you can afford a wet bag, I personally find, especially, I'm not so bothered about the handbag ones, but I really do see it as a great investment to get one of the large ones to hang on the back of the door in your bathroom, if and when your budget allows for that. So this was just a little look at wet bags and how to carry cloth pads out and about with you. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up below and subscribe, and I will talk to you soon.